Hey, welcome. In this video, we're going to show you how to begin a new tax return from within the desktop software. So the first thing you're going to see here in our work in progress summary page is the work in progress summary page. I'm sure you're going to ask, how do I get here? Well, the first thing you have to do is enter your user ID and password correctly, and that'll lead you right here. So once you are here, the first way you're going to be able to enter a tax return is one of two methods. One, you're either going to click this button right here called Add New, and then you're going to key in the social security number of the client. And you're going to have to do that twice to verify that the number is in fact entered incorrectly. Or what you could also do is click Select a Return and click this Add button right here, and it'll take you to the same prompt. So go ahead and enter the client's social security number. And once you have that entered, you can begin. It's going to take you to the client data sheet. And this is where you're going to enter the majority of all of the client's basic information. You're going to do that all right here. So let's get started. We'll put in my name, Devin, and we'll just say test and occupation trainer. And what you can do in the software is you can hit tab on your keyboard, and tab will take you to the next field that you may have to enter information into, right? So I'm gonna go put some basic information in here, as well as my email. And once we get done with that, we can move on to what else is on this client data sheet. Because there are some really important pieces of information that usually you might have to look around in the 1040 to kind of find, but luckily the desktop software has compiled a lot of useful fields right here on this client data sheet. First of it being right here, this identity theft protection pin, or the IP pin. It used to be a hassle trying to find this thing on the 1040, but now it is right here front and center on the client data sheet. So if you have a client that has an IP pin, don't you fret. You can enter that right here and keep it moving. You don't have to search throughout the 1040 for it. Get excited. Next, you'll have to enter the ID or driver's license number of the client. So once you enter that in, the next thing you'll have to be aware of is the issue date. Make sure you enter that incorrectly. And then the next thing you have to be mindful of is the expiration date, because you cannot file taxes with a client that has an expired ID. So make sure you verify on that ID that the ID is not expired. And if it is not, go ahead and continue and enter that information into the software. And hit tab, and it's going to show you the next box, which is very important because we have to identify which kind of card or state issued ID are we referring to right here. Are we referring to a driver's license, a state ID? Did they not give it to us, or were we not able to provide that information? All of those choices are going to be displayed right here. And in fact, even if there's more choices than can be displayed on this one line of text here in this box, you can go ahead and click this choices box right here, and it's going to give you a list of all of the choices you have at your disposal that can be input for information on this return. So in my case, this ID is my driver's license, and we're going to move on to the most important question on this form so far, and that is the filing status. Let's assume for simplicity's sake that I am the head of house, so I'm going to enter a 4. And if you don't know, you can use this little number guide to kind of give you a hint on which proper filing status the numbers correspond to. So in my case, head of house is number 4. Scrolling down, we're going to skip the spouse information, and we're going to go straight to the United States address. I'm going to put any street in here. And cool thing about the software is if you just tab over to the zip code, you can enter the zip code and it'll auto-populate the proper city and state for what you're referencing. So in my case, that's Memphis, Tennessee. And as we scroll down, you have the option to enter your client's bank information right here. Please be careful when you're doing this, because one number can severely throw everything off, and you'll be having to deal with a lot more headaches than you really have to. So just be very mindful, careful, and slow when you're doing this, all right? Once again, one number can throw everything off. So here they, under the list of choices, they have most of the most known banks in America here, And the reason why you need to know this information is if they have a very popular bank that they bank with, you don't have to really kind of search for anything. A lot of this information has already been provided. So if the client uses Fifth Third Bank, you can go ahead and click that, and it's going to have the proper bank routing number. And then the individual account number for the taxpayer, you'll have to fill in that in manually, address which account type this is, and then also indicate whether or not this is a prepaid debit card or not. Now, be mindful of this situation because depending on which products you sign up your client for, you will definitely need to know how either the bank product and or the return is going to be dispersed. Is that going to be by check? Is that going to be by direct deposit? Is that going to be on a bank card? Be mindful of this because the client will definitely need to know this information, and you would like to know that so that you can avoid a lot of unnecessary calls in the future. Scrolling down, we have the client referral. How did this client get into my office, or how did this client come to me? Maybe I'm using the mobile app. Well, what if my friend told them about it? That would be known as word of mouth. So we also have this here in case you don't have a method to track which method of marketing is working the best for you. If you don't write down which method of marketing is working the best for you, there's no way you can run a report to figure out which method is giving you the best ROI for your marketing dollars. So let's just say that I don't have a referral type. So let's see, I am a client referral, and word of mouth is my methodology. Next box is the marketplace health insurance. You can click here to enter the questionnaire, and you go through the questionnaire, answer that correctly as far as how it's relevant to the taxpayer. And the next box you'll have to come to when you're done with that is the dependent section. And this is where you're going to enter the client's dependents if they have any, right? So let's just say I have one dependent, and we'll just keep it short and simple for simplicity purposes. And let's just say I have one daughter. She has the same birthday as me, and we'll just say pen and daughter. Cool. And this is where you're going to have to manually enter the total amount of months this dependent has been staying with this taxpayer. In my case, it's 12. So you click 12, you hit tab, and you see two other boxes auto-populate, and if you click the box, it will explain what these codes mean. E stands for EIC, Earned Income Credit, and the C stands for Child Tax Credit. Now, the software isn't automatically approving me for those. It's just saying that based on the conditions that I just put in for the dependents, this client should qualify for EIC, but you're still going to have to do the EIC checklist for your due diligence requirement as a tax preparer. We'll go into that in another video, but for this video, this is essentially kind of it as far as entering basic information. You can enroll the client for Protection Plus, or if you have any other ancillary products. You can also enroll and execute remote signature right here if the client isn't in your office or is a mobile app user. So that is how to enter the most basic information for your client, and you do that by clicking Add New on the work in progress screen, and that's going to take you right here to the client data sheet, and this is how you enter and begin a new return inside of the desktop software.